Transitioning from primary to secondary schools is an exciting time that can also be challenging for both you and your child. From choosing the right school to sorting through uniforms and book lists, there's a lot to learn along the way. This short video aims to reassure you that it's normal to be a bit anxious and also share some practical advice to support you and your child during this important phase of their life. Your primary and secondary schools are there to ensure that you and your child's transition is as easy as possible. So don't be shy, ask for help and get involved.
A good transition program from primary to secondary is so important because what it does, it allows our students and staff and families to establish the journey of a positive relationship with the secondary school. And we're hoping that that relationship will allow students to ask and seek answers to the questions that they have to reduce their anxieties. Also, it allows staff to establish a relationship with the secondary school and to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of students and their personalities and what makes them tick and friendship groups and so forth, with the whole aim of reducing that anxiety and making that transition process as positive as it can be.
I mean, there's a significant change for the students as they enter secondary school from primary school, so it's really important that they do have a successful transition. And then when they move from one year level to the next, it's important that they understand the challenges that lie ahead for them, but also that they understand that there are people at the school who will support them with those challenges.
A good transition sets students up for success at secondary college. So if the transition is smooth, if students feel safe and secure in the new school, they're able to develop good routines early on, focus on their studies, develop strong friendship groups. If we get it right at the start, it means they're going to have success all the way through school.
Now let's hear from some Year 6 students who share how they're feeling about transitioning to secondary school.
I'm excited about meeting new friends and going to different classes because it's like really big.
I'm excited about the opportunities I'll be participating in, making new friends and learning more about new things and cultures and everything.
I'm excited about, there's 3 things. Going to my new class, studying new things and meeting new people.
I'm worried about homework and like friendship, like getting new friends and seeing if like they're good.
I'm worried about getting lost because the school looks pretty big.
These students have brought up some really common feelings amongst young people who are thinking about their move to secondary school. Have you asked your child how they're feeling about transition? If not, now's the time to discuss how you're both feeling. Remember, it's a journey for you too. As a parent with a child about to start secondary school, you're probably feeling a number of mixed emotions. We asked some parents to share how they're feeling about their child's transition.
I'm excited for my youngest daughter to be joining my eldest daughter at school, and I'm also excited that she'll get to experience high school in a positive environment, meeting friends, being exposed to different curriculum areas, having the opportunity to be part of musical theatre, and just living the life that her big sister's been living for the last couple of years.
Yeah, I'm worried about how she's going to cope with it because like I said, it's going to be a bigger environment. I was thinking if she's going to be able to adjust herself.
Families often wonder if their child, if they have any additional needs, whether they'll be met. Will their child make friends? Will the child be bullied? There are often concerns because as you get into the secondary school years, there are often things that can happen.
So, what does a transition program look like? What can you expect from your primary school? What can you expect from your secondary school? Here's how Westbury Primary School and Pascoe Vale Girls College work in partnership to support their students and families during their transition.
In relation to the transition program, the first thing that we do at the beginning of the year is make contact with the local feeder secondary schools and invite them to come and talk to our students. Again, the whole purpose of that is to decrease that anxiety and to introduce our students into what will be 12 months ahead for them. Often our parents don't have the confidence to come and ask questions and seek answers about the transition process, and they think that it's just an automatic progression from primary to secondary school. So what we do at our mid-year interviews is that our grade 6 teachers talk to the parents about the transition and get a sense of how they feel about the choices that they're making and the reasons as to why they're making those choices.
At Pascoe Vale Girls College, the transition into the school is a major part of our school program each year. We run an open day where prospective students and their parents can come and have a look at the school with information sessions and tours actually led by current students at the school. Communication with our families is very, very important in terms of the transition process, so we keep our parents regularly informed about what is happening and what they need to do in terms of preparation for school. We have an orientation day in December each year where students from the primary schools will come in and spend a full day within the school. They will do classes, they will be involved in co-curricular activities, we have a lunchtime music concert, and we also have a buddy program where those students will be connected to a Year 12 student who is their older sister.
We also have a program right at the beginning of the year to settle the students into the school. So with the transition program, students basically over 3 days, they have a little booklet that they get to fill in, and it's just about getting them orientated with basic routines that we have at secondary school.
As a secondary school parent, there are a number of school staff and community agencies who can support you in your child's learning and overall well-being. Apart from your child's teachers, it's important that you know who else to go to for help. Let's hear from some of them now.
So the main thing for us is that we actually support the parents to help their daughter in terms of their transition into school, and also to help them understand how important it is to form that really strong partnership between the students, their parents and the school. And we see that as a three-way partnership. Communication is very, very important. We ensure that their child has full access to all academic and co-curricular programs within the school, and we make sure that parents are kept informed about everything that is happening at the school and all of the opportunities that are available for their daughter. We have a very strong partnership with Arabic Welfare Incorporated, and from Arabic Welfare we have a social worker who comes in every fortnight to work with our families. We also have a community liaison officer who works with families both within the school and out of the school to support them and their child in their transition to the school, and also whilst they are a student at the school.
My role as a Year 7 coordinator is the first sort of port of call, so I speak to the families and students every single day. So if any families have concerns or students have any queries or questions, I'm always there to give them answers and ease their peace of mind.
This role basically involves integrating new students into the school. So we have a particular focus at helping Year 7 students with the transition process, but it's also about any new students that start at the school at other year levels as well. So making sure that they have a smooth transition into life at Pascoe Vale.
Our role is to make it smooth, and we do that by trying to be transparent, by trying to make sure that all students and all their families have got all the information that they need.
So my role supports students as they transition into secondary school in a range of different ways. I'm part of a broader wellbeing team. I work with 2 psychologists and a nurse. We all work together to work with students and their families. In my role as well, I also work with families and students around addressing any sort of additional wellbeing needs or any material aid needs as well, because starting school can be really expensive and tricky. So we work with different organisations to ensure that families and students have everything they need for when they first start. We also make sure families are really well aware of using interpreters and that they can contact the school whenever they have a concern.
I've come into Pascoe Vale Girls as an external provider, working closely with the wellbeing team. Something that Arabic Welfare does to support both young people and families in terms of transitioning into whether it's from primary school to high school or transitioning from level to level or just from simply one school to another, is we do offer casework service, group work service, information sessions.
We deliver a range of supportive programs to support young people to actually develop resilience and work through to develop their leadership skills as well. and get involved in community.
We're a health service for young people aged 12 to 25 where, we're very local to this school, so we're just right opposite Glenroy train station. We offer a range of programs both within the centre, and we also spend time at the school, so young people will see us around the grounds. We have a range of services and programs, so we have things like GPs, we've got counsellors, we have a whole range of group programs. So there's a lot of different things on offer to support young people and their families.
It's always nice to hear from others who have been through the journey. We now hear from some students and parents about how they or their children have settled into secondary school.
How do you find the classwork, homework, making friends?
At first it was all new and we weren't used to it, but now we've settled in with everything.
It's actually really good, and some people they're coming here without any friends, and some people are, so you just combine everyone together.
What are the biggest challenges that you face this year?
Homework, yeah.
Homework. What about homework?
It's you get homework for different subjects. In primary school you just get one homework for all the subjects, but in high school you get one for every subject, so it's harder.
Have the teachers helped you have they taught you how to juggle that? Have you got into a routine?
It was very, very hard, as she's my first, and it was my first experience at high school with kids, and I found it extremely difficult. She didn't want to go to school. She would constantly call me from school to come pick her up. It was a very difficult time for me and her, but now she's adapted and she's happy and comfortable.
You're now doing very well. Yes, much better than what I'm expecting. Now she's much confident, and even the school is very supportive in everything. So that's really helpful for us.
Well, my daughter's fitting in fine. There's no issues now because the teachers are great. And when I've got a problem with, my daughter has any problems, the teacher helps us out. And any issues, she discusses with the psychologist and her coordinators. So they're quite helpful, and the students are quite helpful too.
Oh, look, I think the transition's been really smooth. The school has provided a lot of information, a lot of interaction with the parents, getting them settled in with the orientation in Year 6 was really good. It's been really positive.
I was really nervous for both of us, for my child and myself, because it's a great transition for her to move from a primary level to a secondary level, which is, and she's the youngest of the secondary and she was the oldest in the primary, so she was finding it a bit hard. But I think the program here is really good, that she gets used to everything so quickly.
As a parent, you know your child very well. Although sometimes a child won't admit that you do know your child very well. You would notice maybe that they're not themselves. Maybe they've changed a little bit. They might not be sleeping as much. They might be a bit reluctant to come to school. You might notice mood change or changes in their eating patterns as well. You also might notice your child changing friendship groups a little bit, or not feeling as connected as they might be. I'd always encourage parents to ask their children if something's happening, and if they don't want to talk to them, to suggest that, to understand that it's okay, you don't need to talk to me, but can we organise for you to speak to someone at school, because there are always options.
Keeping in mind there's lots of normal behaviour associated with adolescence, because it's such a time of change.
So the advice I would be giving to families and parents is really involve the children in the process of making this decision. Make them part of that process. Take them visiting schools as early as grade 5. Let them know that this is very much their decision as well as it is the parents' decision.
Visit the school, find out as much as you can about the school. It's not quite as daunting if the kids have even walked through the school a couple of times. There are tours that occur.
Keep up with their child, always check in with them, make sure they're doing okay, what they've done at school.
Be the supportive and positive role model. Be engaged in your students' learning journey and really build trust and positive communication with your child, so that you can actually support them through the obstacles that they may actually confront.
You've got to see that this is actually about how your child is going to flourish, and how this ultimately is they need to make those mistakes on their own and get back up again. You'll always be there. They will always know that.
This video was produced as part of the Joining the Dots in Moreland project 2016 to 2017 with funding support from School Focused Youth Service. On behalf of the project steering group, Inner Northern Local Learning and Employment Network, would like to thank the students, staff and families from West Spring Primary School and Pascoe Vale Girls College, local community agencies and Salinger Photography and Communications.